And finally, part D from problem 4, the option test 2012. Prove that the series from 1 to infinity of u sub n minus L diverges. Okay, so they're telling us it diverges. We just have to prove it. Well, remember from part B that u sub n minus L is the difference between a term and the limit. And that difference, going back to the way I wrote the expression through our long division, 3 halves plus 7 over 4n minus 2 is the same as the original series or sequence. Now we know it converges to 3 halves, and the remainder, 7 over 4n minus 2, is always the difference between the actual term value and the limit value. So we want to find that series will diverge. All right, we got to think of our tests of divergence here. Well, if you notice, you have a single variable in the denominator with no power. And hopefully that would make you think of one of our most common series, which is called the harmonic series, 1 over n. 1 over n diverges. That's just a given fact. If we can prove some sort of relationship between the one we're trying to prove and 1 over n, then we can prove that it diverges. Well, since 1 over n diverges, let's take a look at 7 over 4n minus 2. You should realize that 7 over 4n minus 2 is actually larger than 7 over 4n. Because if you take away a number from the denominator, that's going to make the fraction larger. So 7 over 4n minus 2 is greater than 7 over 4n, and 7 over 4n is the same as 7/4 times 1 over n. Well, 7/4 times 1 over n has to be greater than 1 over n. So therefore, the series that we have in question, 7 over 4n minus 2, that series is greater than the harmonic series. And since you have a series which is greater than a series that you know diverges, therefore our series diverges. If you know one diverges and you can find one that's larger than it, it also has to diverge. Remember, diverge means it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So if something is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and something is greater than that, that one also has to be getting bigger and bigger and bigger. That's the logic behind it. All right, problem number 4 is done.